Hey friends, Alessandra here. It has been a month since we've checked on our worms. We've peeked in there to check on their temperature, but they haven't been fed in a month, and they've been going through some cooler nights, some warmer days. So I thought, let's open them up, see how they're doing. I have some frozen food ready, some water in case it's too dry, lots of paper. But right now, I'm going to go in and move the 3 or 4 layers of moving blankets that's been helping sort of keep them warm through these colder nights. Now, as I'm doing this, we'll just remind you guys, these are our worms. We have red wigglers. They're in our garage, so they are covered. They're not on the porch like they used to be in Florida. The house wall is here, so hopefully they're getting a little bit of residual heat from the house. We obviously have a ton of blankets that we used when we moved across the country that are helping insulate the bag. This is our urban worm bag. And we checked on it a few times. We pulled up the corner over here, and I posted on Instagram some updates when I checked on them. We know that they don't want to freeze, obviously, but let's check on the bag and see how it's doing today. We know when they're cold or at cooler temperatures, they're not processing as much food as they would be if it was, the middle of the summertime. So I know they don't need food as much. All right, this says we are at 60 degrees. So our thermometer puts us at 60 degrees, which is good because today's one of the warmer days we've had in a little while. I saw it get down to about 50 degrees, but this is a extra long thermometer, so you could tell we really insulated the urban worm bag for a lot of reasons, but partially for heat. So this thermometer is, the top is here, but I'll show you how deep it goes down in a minute. So we know from the last year, somehow it's already been a year since we lived out here, that dryness is a real problem in our compost tumblers out back and in our urban worm bag. I can tell just off the top, none of this really, there's a little bit of moisture, really not a lot. We'll definitely be adding a lot of water. Now, I'm pulling up this side first, even though I know we fed them over here last because there was food at one point over here. And I'm curious to see how the moisture is held up. Ooh, it is dry. It is dry. I'm not going to pull you guys in just yet because I don't really see. Okay, I got one worm. Not even sure he's alive. Oh yeah, he is alive. Okay, one worm. All right. There is some moisture, I should say, in there. Okay, but there's no food, so that's good. And you can tell here's our thermometer. Let me see if I can even bring you guys in a little bit closer. So it's already quite a ways in. So it's a nice long one here. So we know that it's really getting the heart of the bin temperature. There's a little bit more moisture levels over here, which isn't super shocking. Let's bring this back up. I want to make sure the thermometer stays up top so we can check on it. But we know that the last feeding they got was back here. So we were trying to rotate. If I can get to it, curious to see how much they ate. Okay, well, I know you guys can't see that, so I'm gonna just. All right, we're using old school camera. We can tell right off the bat there's some flies over here. I hope you guys can see. This is clearly where it was wrapped from last time. It is damp. Looks like the food is pretty much as is. I don't even see. Yeah, I don't even see any worms underneath trying to get into it. Well, not ideal. Not ideal at all. So we're just going to loosen this up a little bit. Oops. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the new, I'm going to feed them some more because I do think they need it. But I'm not sure if we're making too much of a leap over from one section to the other. So I'm going to put another thing of food over here. Same as usual, we're just going to use one of these little containers. It's got some grapes, some berries, some zucchini. I think there's an apple bit in this one. Yeah, some apple cores. And this is going to probably be a little extra food than what they really need right now. But I'm hoping that we can teach them about the rotation and help spread out the worms. And if nothing else, keep the moisture level up. And since I can't tell if there's just not enough worms to break through or if they're still learning on how we put the I guess the food together, I'm only going to wrap this in one sheet of packing paper. This is just plain packing paper from our move last year. All right, so we have it. A nice little block of fruit, frozen fruit. And I'm just going to go in this corner here. So hopefully that will maybe cover some of the gap between what was fed over here and this one. I don't know, but we'll at least know it's in that area. So we're gonna leave that as is. Okay, so we have that there. I've got this extra paper that I was gonna put in the bin anyways. And that just kind of helps fill in any air pockets, which I think are gonna help keep the heat in a little bit better. Truthfully, I think we could probably put some more paper in. Maybe I'll come back and do some soon, but part of the reason I'm going to put this extra paper in is because we're going to add, let's see, this much water, maybe not quite a half a gallon, maybe like a third of a gallon. And the reason I'm putting this on the top on the paper is so that it helps absorb some of the water so it doesn't just flow right through, because when things are dry, the drainage just goes right the other end, like when you water a dry plant. So this is going to help absorb some of the moisture a little better and hopefully distribute it a bit better. We've done this before and it seemed to have worked out pretty good. So here's hoping this helps again. But I think that might just have to be something we plan on doing more regularly, because this area over here, very dry. So I can't imagine some of the other areas like this corner over here that haven't gotten any food yet. They've got to be much drier. And we need the moisture in there for the worms to do well. So we'll let that sit. I've got the drip container underneath in the event that it does catch anything. And we'll probably let this sit for a day or two. Maybe we'll come back and add more paper just to help with the colder days coming ahead. But for now, I think this is pretty good. So we'll go ahead, cover it back up. I was surprised to see a few flies come out even at these temperatures. I thought for sure we wouldn't have that many, but evidently we do. It's okay. It's part of the reason we wrap it up, right? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this recovered with all the blankets and whatnot. If you guys have any suggestions on keeping the worms warm over the winter time out in a garage, let me know. But for now, I think we're just kind of trying to get through the winter with the worms, and hopefully we don't have to buy more in the spring. All right, friends, thanks for hanging out with me today and checking all the worms. Until next time, bye.